friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Beyond Natural Light podcast. I'm Sandra Cohn, and just so you know, I am here today with my puppy, who is insisting on sitting right at my feet. So if you hear like snuffling or dog sounds, just know that it's not me, it is my puppy, and she's kind of loud. Right? I just want to put in that disclaimer. Now listen, I want to talk to you today about business. Now, I started my photography business way back in 1999, sort of by accident. I know I share my story a lot, but I'd like to share my story because I think a lot of us in the photography industry start that way, right? For me, it really started as a side hustle. So at the time I was teaching kindergarten and I just needed to bring in some extra money, right? So I started taking photos on the side to supplement my income and just fell in love with it. And so about 3 years after I started my side hustle, I decided to quit teaching and pursue a full-time career as a photographer. And I've been a professional photographer ever since. So I love this job. I love this career. It not only brings me joy, it allows me to make my own schedule and to live a lifestyle that just works for me. It also allows me to support my family, which I'm really, really grateful for. But it wasn't always easy, especially in the beginning. When I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, I had just started a little side hustle, and then all of a sudden it was a business, and I didn't know the first thing about running a business. And as a result, I made a lot of mistakes, right? And what's interesting is now at this point in my career, like, going on 23 years into this, and, given that I now work with other photographers and coach other photographers, I see so many people making those exact same mistakes that I did in the beginning part of my business before I knew better. And I don't want that for you. So on today's episode, I'm just going to share a few mistakes and a few insights on what you need to know when you are not only starting your business, but you're building your business or you're growing your business. These are good reminders for all of us, no matter where we are in that journey. So the first thing you need to do is get clear on what it is that you do and who you serve. Now listen, photographers often fall into the trap of looking at what their competition is doing or what the popular trends in the industry are and thinking that that is what they need to do or that is what they should do in order to be successful in their own business. And this really is one of the most common mistakes I see photographers make. But you guys, listen, the truth is, we all have unique interests. We have unique backgrounds, unique passions and perspectives and points of view. And we bring that to our work, right? That's what makes our work interesting and special. But for some reason, as soon as we start charging for what it is that we do, we stop trusting our uniqueness, that thing that makes us interesting. And instead we try to be like everybody else, right? And we start chasing trends and doing all of that. And the problem is when you're chasing trends and you're trying to be like everyone else in your community, in your industry, right? You and your work become just like everybody else, right? Like that's your goal. That's what you get. You become one of many. And when you're one of many, the only thing that separates you from every other photographer in your market, in your area, really is price. And competing on price, you guys, is a race to the bottom. But when you show up and you shoot the way that you were called to shoot, right? When you trust that authentic voice that you have, right? That you really lean into the kind of work that you love to produce and the way that you want to do it, your work stands out. It becomes as unique as you are. And that uniqueness is what leads you to developing a signature style. And having a strong signature style is how you build a brand that will set you apart in a saturated market, right? It sounds simple, but it's really hard. I remember at the very beginning of my career, I had a very small stint as a wedding photographer. And one of my good friends that I had met at that time was also a wedding photographer, and she was just brilliant. She had this really amazing way. She was like a true photojournalist. So she could just show up and it was like she wasn't even there, and her pictures were interesting and engaging. They had a real kind of like street photography quality to them. This was before street photography was what it is now, but just like really candid, just so cool. And she and I used to talk about this very thing because she would share, when we were sitting down having coffee and working on our businesses, she would be like, I feel like my clients like want me to pose pictures, or that I need to go in and set up a traditional, pose portrait of the wedding party. And I just feel like I should be doing that. And so then I do it and then I hate it. And then my clients are unhappy. And I remember saying to her, it's like, no, people are hiring you for that cool, gritty, weird thing that you do that nobody else is doing right now. Like, you need to do that. That's what I'm talking about, you guys. We all have a uniqueness. We all have a way that's just like in us, that is innate for us to show up and photograph. We just need to learn to trust it, okay? So instead of looking at what your competition is doing, instead of looking at what the popular trends are and chasing those things, ask yourself these questions. What do you love capturing? Right? What kind of work were you drawn to doing before you ever thought you would turn your photography into a business? That's a big one, right? What is your unique take on the genre that you work in? So for example, I'm a newborn photographer, and I'm actually a studio newborn photographer, but I don't do any of that traditional posing and stuff that we see in newborn photography. That's just not who I am. It's not my style. And, my unique take and my genre helps me stand out, right? So what would you photograph over and over and over again and never get sick of doing? Really lean into the things that make you different, okay? Figure out what you do, and then look for the people who want that, because I promise you, you're out there, okay? And they're out there looking for you. They're looking for that something special that only you can give. So show up and give it to them, okay? So the second little piece of advice I want to give is that marketing is just as important as talent. So hear me out. Being a good photographer is an important part of your job, obviously, right? To build a successful photography business, you must be able to take consistently good photos. But being good at, or even great at photography is really just one piece of the puzzle. Building a strong, profitable photography business requires more than just talent, okay? It requires a marketing plan, you guys. And this is where so many photographers go wrong. They take this winging it approach to running their business and this winging it approach to their marketing, and it causes a lot of problems. They don't take the time to learn what modern marketing is, and they don't take the time to learn how to do it. So what to say, how to say it, where to put it, what platforms to use, all of that kind of stuff. It's really, really important. And instead, what a lot of people do is try outdated tactics, right, that don't work, or spy on their competition, look around and see what other people are charging or what other people are offering in their packages. The other thing photographers love to do, which is like my biggest pet peeve, is ask for business advice in Facebook groups. Friends, you are never going to build a super profitable, super successful business by crowdsourcing advice from strangers on the internet, okay? Hear me, this is coming from a place of love, not judgment. Don't do that. And worst of all, they think that their lack of clients in their business, so the fact that maybe you're having a hard time finding clients who come into your business, you don't have a full calendar, all that kind of stuff. People believe that that problem is a reflection of their photography skills, and it's not, okay? A lack of clients, low engagement on social media, poor sales, ghosting, like when you hear from somebody, you tell them all about your package and you never hear from them again. Those are all symptoms of marketing problems, not photography problems. So stop worrying so much about your photography, okay? You don't need another lens. You don't need another portfolio shoot at a workshop, okay? You don't need that. Instead, really focus your energy and your resources on learning the business side of your photography business. Learn about modern marketing, learn how to market yourself, and it will change your business for the better, I promise. Okay. And the last piece is invest in yourself, not just your photography gear. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I love photography equipment too. I love going out and buying fun new things, but the truth is a new camera or a shiny new lens will not help you book more clients. That's just the truth. All right. Those things are nice to have, right? You need the basics, sure. But spending all your money on gear when you're trying to grow your business is probably not the best place for you to be spending your money. Okay. Now listen, I get it. That's some hard truth, but I'm just trying to keep it real. If you want to grow your photography business, you must be willing to invest in yourself, and not in yourself as a photographer, but in yourself as a business owner. All right. I'm going to say that again. You need to take yourself seriously as a business owner, because that's what you are and that's what you're doing. And working with a trusted business coach is really one of the fastest ways to learn how to accelerate your growth. Okay. But not all coaches are the same. And I think that this is important to talk about. This is something that nobody talks about in the industry, but we need to start talking about. Okay. So here's what you really need to look for when you are choosing a mentor. All right. First of all, look for someone who is trained to teach or coach and specializes in what you want to learn. Okay. There are a lot of photographers out there who are offering photography education, and some of them are amazing and some of them are great and some of them aren't. So before signing up for a program, make sure the person who is teaching it is qualified to teach and has a history of getting results from their students. And one of the great ways to do this is just a Google search. You Google search the name of the person you want to work with, look for reviews. Look for what their past students are saying about them. All right. This is really important. I obviously coach other photographers, and I can't tell you how many people I hear from who've gone through my program who have these horror stories of classes that they've taken or coaching programs that they've signed up for or workshops they've gone to. It's awful, and it's a problem in the industry. So please vet your instructors. Okay. Look for someone with experience, both as a photographer and as an educator. Okay. The reality is most photographers fail within the first 5 years of trying to run a business. Isn't that crazy? So a mentor who has been successfully, keyword is successfully, running a business in the field for 10, 15, 20 years probably knows what they're talking about. Okay. I personally, not only am I a certified teacher, but I've been in the photography business, like the photography industry, for over 20 years. Okay. So I've been teaching for a long time, and I've been working with other photographers for a long time, but I've also been in business for a long time. So I understand what it takes, how things change that. Again, vet the people that you choose to learn from, you guys. This is really, really important. Coaching can be a really powerful tool and can really help you get to where you want to go, and in a quick way. But it does require some work on your part, and it requires willingness on your part to invest in your business, to spend the time, investing in yourself as a business owner and taking that seriously. All right. Last of all, what I want to share is that building a successful and profitable photography business is totally possible. It really is. It doesn't matter the size of town you live in, if you're in a big city, if you're in a small little rural place out in the woods, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where in the world you live. It doesn't matter how niche what you do is. There is somebody out there looking for what you want to do, and building a successful photography business out of whatever your passion is, whatever that thing is that you do, is 100% possible. I've done it, and I've seen the hundreds of photographers that I coach inside of the Six Figure Studio do it. But again, it does require some work, and it requires having a strong brand and a solid marketing plan and systems to help you with consistency and efficiency. So anyway, I hope that that was helpful or insightful or gave you some things to think about. If you would like to learn more about how to build a profitable photography business, I do have a brand new training out called 3 Marketing Mistakes that every photographer needs to avoid this year. And I'm going to link it below. So be sure to check that out. And of course, leave us a shiny 5-star review and something nice to say. It's always fun. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you on the next episode.